In the early hours of January 3, 2026, the world awoke to a seismic shift in international affairs as United States Special Forces, primarily Delta Force commandos supported by an extensive aerial armada including 152 aircraft and ground elements, executed a meticulously planned operation codenamed Absolute Resolve, launching precision strikes on Venezuelan air defense systems. Many Russian-supplied Buk-2Ma missiles and radars at key seaports and airports while simultaneously cutting off electricity across much of Caracas, plunging the capital into darkness lit only by candles, as President Donald Trump later boasted, enabling a surprise raid on the presidential residence, where Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores were abducted from their bedroom amid explosions echoing through the city, with no American casualties reported though. Venezuelan sources claimed dozens of military and civilian deaths, including Cuban personnel, marking the most audacious extraterritorial capture of a sitting head of state since the 1989 Panama invasion of Manuel Noriega. Maduro and Flores were swiftly transported via helicopter to the USS Iwo Jima and then to New York, where on January 5 they appeared shackled in a Manhattan federal courtroom, pleading not guilty to long-standing 2020 indictments for narco-terrorism, drug trafficking, conspiracy, and money laundering, with Maduro defiantly proclaiming himself a prisoner of war and still the legitimate president, while his defense argued the action constituted an illegal military abduction. The operation, kept secret even from Congress, but with media outlets like the New York Times and Washington Post withholding leaks at the administration's request to protect lives, was hailed by Trump as a brilliant tactical masterpiece that shifted focus from initial drug cartel accusations, which U.S. officials quietly admitted no longer held, to securing Venezuela's vast oil reserves, prompting Chevron to resume exports to the U.S., while sanctioned tankers evaded blockades to deliver millions of barrels to China, as interim President Delcy Rodriguez sworn in on January 5. And controlling the oil ministry was described by analysts as pragmatically eager to collaborate with Washington under threat of further invasion to avoid a Messier full-scale war. Globally, the move sparked outrage at an emergency UN Security Council session on January 5, where even staunch U.S. allies like France, Denmark, and the U.K. condemned the violation of sovereignty and the UN Charter's prohibition on force, with France's deputy ambassador warning it undermined peaceful dispute resolution, Denmark referencing broader tensions over Greenland threats, and UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres decrying it as a dangerous precedent, while Russia and China demanded Maduro's immediate release, invoking head-of-state immunity, though Putin remained conspicuously silent amid viral memes contrasting his restraint with fallen allies. Domestically in the U.S., Republicans largely praised the decisiveness, with House Speaker Mike Johnson defending its legality, while Democrats led by Chuck Schumer vowed War Powers Act resolutions to curb Trump's unilateralism, and critics like Tucker Carlson decried it as imperial overreach. In Venezuela, opposition figures like Maria Corina Machado's 20 movement demanded release of 863 political prisoners amid deepened PDVSA production cuts and stalled Asian oil deliveries, as Rodriguez balanced Chavista continuity with U.S. demands, and regional reactions varied from Colombia's vows to defend sovereignty against potential spillover threats, to supportive nods from leaders like Argentina's Javier Milei and El Salvador's Nayib Bukele, viewing it as a blow to narco-socialism. The trial ahead promised to be protracted, potentially lasting months or years, raising profound questions about international law, the inviolability of borders, accountability for human rights abuses under Maduro's regime, including crimes against humanity probed by the ICC, and the perils of unilateral intervention in an era of shifting global power, where oil pragmatism intertwined with justice claims, leaving Venezuela's future governance uncertain, under interim structures while the world grappled with the precedent of a superpower, forcibly extracting a leader to face its courts. Echoing historical interventions yet amplified in a multipolar age fraught with risks of escalation, regional instability, and eroded norms that once underpinned post-World War II order.